Arman always said the same thing. Just a little more Thai arm in me, then I'll take my life seriously. Sometimes he talked about joining a gym next month. Sometimes he dreamed about speaking fluent English. Sometimes he imagined starting his own business. Sometimes he promised himself he would earn enough money to give his parents every happiness they deserved. But there was one problem with Arman. He only thought about changing. He never actually changed. Every morning the alarm rang and he hit snooze. He picked up his phone for just 10 minutes, then lost half the day watching reels, memes, and random videos. At night he felt guilty. He would promise himself, "Tomorrow I'll become serious." But every tomorrow looked. Arman's father worked as a mechanic. Every day he returned home covered in dust and grease. His mother stitched clothes to help save money for the family. One night the electricity went out. The whole house fell into darkness. Arman stood in the balcony scrolling through his phone when he saw his father walking home down the street. He looked exhausted. His clothes were dirty. His steps were slow. For the first time, Arman realized something painful. His father was sacrificing his life every single day just to build a better future for him. And what was Arman doing? Destroying his own future with his own hands. That night, he couldn't sleep. He stood in front of the mirror and looked at himself carefully. Dark circles under his eyes, a tired face, a distracted mind. Quietly, he asked himself, "Am I really living or just passing time?" The next morning, for the first time in years, he woke up without hitting snooze. There was no motivation, no dramatic music, just fear inside him. Started with small steps, morning walks, 30 minutes of English practice, less social media, daily reading, learning one online skill. At first, it felt difficult. His mind constantly searched for comfort. Sometimes his friends said, "Relax, bro, enjoy life." Sometimes his own thoughts whispered, "Take a break today." But Arman slowly understood something important. Success does not come from motivation. It comes from discipline repeated every day. Little by little, his habits began to change. His confidence improved. His communication became better. His body felt more active. But most importantly, he started respecting himself again. One evening, his mother entered his room carrying tea. The room that was once messy now had books on the table, notebooks filled with plans, and a sense of purpose. She smiled softly and said, "You look different now." Arman smiled back. "No, I'm just finally becoming serious about my life." Months passed. He learned freelancing and started earning online. His first income was small, but when he placed the money into his father's hands, his father stayed silent for a few seconds. Then he quietly said, "Now it feels like my son has finally grown up." That moment changed Arman forever. He realized that real happiness does not come from expensive things. Real happiness comes when your parents feel proud of you. But the journey still wasn't easy. Sometimes Arman compared himself to others. He opened Instagram and felt like everyone else was moving ahead faster than him. Then one day he understood another truth. Social media shows people's best moments, not their real lives. Real life exists away from the camera. Real growth is boring, waking up every day, working even when you don't feel like it, staying focused while the world distracts you. No applause, no audience, just you and your consistency. One day Arman met his old school friend Faizan. Back in school, Faizan was considered the most talented student. Now he sat at a roadside tea stall smoking cigarettes, looking exhausted. Arman asked carefully, "How's life going?" Faizan laughed weakly. "I don't even know when life started slipping away from me." That sentence stayed in Arman's mind for a long time. because he realized something important. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they never truly begin. They spend years waiting for the perfect moment, but life never waits for anyone. A few years later, Arman had completely transformed. He was confident, healthy, financially stable. But the biggest change happened inside him. He stopped making excuses. One evening, while drinking tea together on the balcony, his father asked him, "Do you know the most dangerous habit in life?" Arman looked at him. "What?" His father replied, "The habit of living for tomorrow instead of today." That night, Arman opened his diary and wrote, "Time feels free, but it is the most expensive thing in the world." And from that day onward, he stopped wasting his life.